So they've been down this road before, plenty of times. Also, this isn't Netflix, but another example bears mentioning. Just a few weeks ago, a film called Yes, God, Yes, another masterpiece, according to critics anyway, was released to streaming and on-demand viewing. And according to The Stylist, it, quote unquote, here's the quote, explores the joys and shame of female masturbation through the adventures of its 16-year-old protagonist. The writer and director, Karen Main, says that she's hoping the film helps her younger audience feel less weird about discovering their sexuality. But really, the most egregious form of child exploitation and sexualization in our culture has nothing to do with films about twerking. In fact, in this vein, Netflix aired something even more objectionable not long ago. The reboot of the Babysitters Club recently featured a storyline about a 9-year-old trans girl, i.e. a boy who has been told by his parents that he's a girl. And let's just here's just one short scene from that episode. Look at this.
Okay, took a while, but we finally found a file for a Bailey Del Vecchio. Is 32 Burnt Hill Road still the current address?
Yeah.
Have you been giving him fluids? If he's dehydrated, we'll need to place an IV. Have him change into this.
I don't want the blue one.
Well...
I hear someone's not feeling well. Let's take a look at the little man.
Can I please talk to you two outside? I know that you guys are busy, but as you would see, if you looked at her and not her chart, Bailey is not a boy. And by treating her like one, you are completely ignoring who she is. You're making her feel insignificant and humiliated. And that's not gonna help her feel good or safe or calm. So, from here on out, please recognize her for who she is. And if at all possible, could you find me a non-blue hospital gown?
Our apologies.
Now, of course, leaving all the other issues aside here, there are many excellent reasons why doctors might need to know your actual biological sex. It can affect what treatment they use, because as it turns out, boys and girls are different, very different. But more to the point here, this is a storyline normalizing the idea that young children can choose their own gender. And you should know that the actor who goes by the name Kai is a biological boy who identifies as a girl. According to his mother, he started showing signs of being a girl at 18 months. Yes, 18 months. This mother believes that an 18-month-old baby has some sort of insight into his own gender, which of course is stark, raving lunacy. Kai completed his transition at 4. Now, I have an almost 4-year-old, plus 2 other kids who were 4 at one time. And I can report unequivocally that 4-year-olds have no idea what gender is, have no idea what boys and girls are, really. If you don't believe me, just ask a 4-year-old, what's a boy, what's a girl? They won't be able to tell you. They have indeed no idea what anything is. They have no grasp on reality whatsoever. There's a reason you can tell these kids that a giant fat man flies through the air at the speed of light, climbs down their chimneys and brings them presents, and they won't even question the claim or bat an eye. They accept it implicitly, like they accept everything else, because they don't have the psychological capacity to distinguish between fact and fiction, reality and fantasy. By accepting and promoting and imposing this absurd, grotesque, mind-boggling lie that 4-year-olds can choose their own gender, that they have somehow the maturity and agency and insight and understanding and competency to make life-altering decisions for themselves at that age, we are sending the message that, well, 4-year-olds have maturity, agency, understanding, and competency. We are sending the message that 4-year-olds have enough psychological, neurological, and emotional development to choose their sex. Which is to say, according to this theory, they have quite a significant amount of psychological, neurological, and emotional development. The problem here, well, one of the countless problems is that the whole reason, what is the whole reason we say that adulthood starts at 18? And that, for example, a sexual relationship between an adult and a minor is not a relationship at all, but abuse. The reason we give is that children are not psychologically, neurologically, and emotionally developed. The entire basis for the laws that allow us to put adults who prey on children in jail is that children quite literally cannot consent to sexual relationships because they don't understand what they're doing, or what the consequences are, or what it means, etc., etc., etc. And yet now we're saying, oh, never mind. In fact, children, even at the age of 4, actually are enormously mature and developed, so much so that they can choose to alter their entire identity and make decisions that will have a profound impact on their lives forever, even to the point of taking drugs that will chemically castrate them. So you see where this leads, hopefully. What we have here is a developing narrative about childhood and childhood psychology and the capacities of children that is extraordinarily dangerous and can only lead to terrible things. And that is, we should emphasize, completely wrong on every level. And contrary to science, common sense, morality, and basic human decency. So yes, the movie about the twerking girls is bad, but it's a lot worse than that out there for our children, which is all the more reason, if you're a parent, to keep your kids close and remain vigilant. Thank you for tuning into the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative media outlets in the entire country. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and a subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our content.